Hello, everyone. This is Brother Benson, and I'm joined with my good brother, Mr. Miguda. Miguda, habari ya jioni. Hello, everyone.
Niko salama kakangu, niko vyema, labda za kwako.
Mi niko vizuri. Naona pale Gudia pia natusalimia. Tunatushukuru, asante sana. Weekend yako ilikuwa vipi?
Hata mimi natumia salamu zangu kwake Gudia, na pia nilisema ya kwamba mimi weekend yangu ilikuwa fiti, nimekuwa vyema, na vile pia weekend ilikuwa ya utulivu sana. Hatukuwa na mpira, na vile pia hatukuwa na mvutano hapa na pale, labda tu hizo siasa za ODM.
Yeah.
Na pia sasa hivi tumeanza wiki vizuri huko, naona mbele imechemka na kwa tumai ndio itakuwa tu sawa.
Asante sana. Wewe unasema kwamba wiki hakukuwa na mambo ya mpira, lakini mimi jana kuna jambo ambalo kiliwacha watu vinywa maji, yani watu walikuwa wamepigwa na mshangao sana katika mlingo wa mpira. Sana sana Nigeria walikuwa wanacheza na Kongo, na Kongo wakapata kushinda, na imekuwa ni jambo ambalo wana Kongo wanasherekea. Na unajua ndugu zetu wa Kongo ni wale ambao Mungu aliwabariki, wanajua kuimba, wanajua kucheza. So unapata kwamba ile mziki ambao kuna ile venye wanadensi saizi, kuna ile kudensi ili kuambia ni kama wanachapa, yani ni kitu ambacho iko katika mtandao. Uliona hiyo pia?
Wakati wanasema tu hatukuwa na mpira wa Uingereza, English Premier League, lakini tulikuwa na mpira tofauti. Unapata mimi wakati watu walikuwa na tazama hiyo mchezo kati ya Rwanda na Nigeria, mimi nilikuwa natazama ile mchezo wa Ufaransa na Argentina. Sasa baadaye nikapata matokeo ya kwamba Kongo waliibuka washindi katika mchezo wao na Nigeria, na sikupata nafasi ya kutazama vile washabiki walikuwa wanashangilia hiyo ushindi.
Hiyo ushindi imesherekewa sana kule mtandao, sana sana wa Kongo. Unapata kwamba baadhi ya wa Nigeria na wengine walikuwa wanalia kwa sababu wamepoteza nafasi kucheza katika kombe la dunia. Unajua hivyo?
Najua wamekosa kucheza katika kombe la dunia mwaka ujao, na hiyo pia unanisikia? Ni kama unanisikia? Umemute? Kwa unazungumza? Umezima microphone. Nasema wamekosa kucheza katika mwaka ujao. Na unajua pia wao ni wale watu ambao wamekuwa wakichezanga miaka nenda miaka rudi katika mchezo za kidunia. Na sasa hii pia ni wakati unapata kuna timu mpya, kuna nchi mpya ambazo zitacheza. Na pia sisi pia tulikosa kufika huko. Sasa asikubali kushindwa si mshindani, na pia kuna next time. There's always next time.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Miguda. And let me take this opportunity to say hi to Goodyear. We are Good Brother Benson Media. You are getting I'm getting what? Let me see. You're getting put here. Okay, thank you. So, and that is so. There are quite a number of things that is happening before we go into what happened during the ODM at 20, because there's so many questions that are being asked, and based on how the confrontations of the leader and people asking this question, if Raila could have been in that meeting, in that ODM at 20, could we see such like the confrontation from the leaders and all that? So that is something that we will look at, and also we will look at the constitution of ODM. What does the ODM constitution say, especially when it comes to election or confirmation of leaders? So those are some of the things that we will look at. Today again, I think it was yesterday, Mike Sonko confront a son-in-law Eden after assault on the daughter Salma Mbuvi. Did you see that?
Yeah, I just saw it, I think 2 hours ago. I never saw it real on time. When Sonko went and confront son-in-law for assaulting the daughter. That one I saw. I got a chance to watch it. The way also in the comment section, I
Mm.
realized young women were very happy of what Sonko did.
Mm-hmm.
And they were saying, if at all that is how their fathers can react
Mm-hmm.
whenever there is a domestic issue between them and their husbands,
Mm-hmm.
then that father should be given flowers when he's still alive.
All right, so that's okay, and so many people are looking at it in two different angles, but this is uh, my take, especially because, like, from the conversation, you could hear Sonko is kind of like taking care of that family. So, like, the majority or 99% of the responsibility is about including paying the rent, including taking the kids to school, and even sometimes including daily shopping. Is doing that. Then this comes a case whereby now the husband now beats or insult the daughter of the Sonko. So it's some lessons that also need to be learned, and and what Sonko also did is also something that is so many of our parents sometimes they don't do, to go to that extent. One, taking a responsibility of your daughter, making sure that she lives well, then again coming out to defend her, especially when somebody is not doing something that is very right. So for that, Sonko has really done a good job in terms of protecting the daughter, and also in terms of taking care of. So the issue is like, the other man, what is now your responsibility if everything is being taken care of?
If everything is being taken care of, my responsibility to ensure that I live peacefully with your daughter. I'll not abuse your daughter. If someone is taking care of everything, what you need to, yeah, the guy did exact opposite what he's supposed to do.
How many young men in this era, especially like young men who, if somebody can take that burden off them, how many of them do you think would take that opportunity with a lot of seriousness and waitunze?
Let me tell you right now, if I get someone who can take all those all those responsibility, then
Yeah.
tomorrow I'll just declare a wedding ceremony. So I think the young man actually did a very wrong act,
Yeah.
because there are so many young people who are actually struggling to ensure that they ends meet, and also to understand that if someone has taken care of everything,
Yeah.
including your own responsibility, like paying school fees, paying
Mhm.
rental, managing all your bills, including giving you a daughter, a wife, to assist you in that capacity.
Na
Oh,
hajapeleka mahari.
so I think there are some young people who are not serious, and some young
Mhm.
people who actually do not understand why they were involved into marriages. So I think it was a wrong act from the husband, and also it is a very good act by the father to come in and also intervene.
All right. The guy is not a man. Is he disabled to work? We don't know. Those are questions that everybody is asking. A Kenyan man slapped an officer. Did you see this one also? There's also this one is also trending on the internet. A Kenyan man slaps an officer to rescue a dog from helicopter in Narok. So this is what I saw. There was an helicopter that was taking off, and when the helicopter was taking off, the dog was somewhere. It was just like in the vicinity, very close vicinity to the helicopter. So the man was trying to rescue the dog, especially. But like what this man did not consider is the wings of do we call it the propellers that already started um, swinging, and the dog was there. So like the man went, and the police officer, tried to drag him out of that, because one, that one was very dangerous for him. Then what he did not appreciate that. He just slaps the police officer. How do we balance this? Because like the officer was trying to see that your life was not in danger, because where you are trading was a danger zone. especially. So it was just trying to keep you safe, but also you're seeing your dog, you want to rescue the dog because that you feel that it was dangerous for the dog to be there. Wewe ukiamka tu hivi baada ya police officer kukutoa ni ile makofi ulimpatia.
Even though the dog life was important to that person, but
Yeah.
also his life is important to the state and the officer to come in and also rescue. We cannot get that life once it's lost. But remember, the dog, maybe we can have many dogs. Remember, human beings different from animals or dogs, the way you were saying. So his life is very much important. And there's no need for him to just lose his life in the quest for rescuing the dog. So I think sometimes whether he was bitter or he was hurt to an extent of slapping a police officers, sometimes you understand, you might not know. We are different people. There are some people actually who are reacting differently, depending on the situation. There are some people who believe that when they are disappointed in their pursuit of anything, the best thing to do is to react by physical, what he did. And some people also understand that they have to react by understanding the reasons why they were denied the opportunity to pursue that thing. So before we condemn the person, we also have to understand in which capacity. Sometimes you can realize that maybe he was in pain. You understand? We are different people, or maybe he's some who even does not understand the role of a police officer in whatever happened. So it was a wrong act to slap a law enforcement officer when he was doing exactly he was going to rescue that life.
Okay, this is what Brother Benson made. I watched a video close to the violent video by a Luo guy encouraging Luo men to marry from the mountain because they are rich and would take care of them. Sad world, because which means the men will not be taking that responsibility. Men should take part in the responsibility of their family. There's something that everybody needs to understand, especially when it comes to the law enforcement officers. If you look at the video of that guy slapping the police officer, and the police officer was doing his job, that is what I believe, because there's what we call proactive. And to be proactive is to prevent something before its occurrence. So as a police officer, that's the one reason why he was there. One was even to make sure that where the helicopter was parked is secure, or the security of that helicopter. That is one. Secondly, also to make sure that the population within, especially, are safe too. But at that moment in time whereby you go for a police officer, I tell you, the law utashikwa. Utashikwa na hapo ndo utajua ujui. Na unajua saa zingine unaweza piga huyo ofisa hivyo, lakini hao watu saa zingine wakikupata kwa giza utakubali, utaujua ujui. Yeah, so that is
Benson.
Yeah.
There are some acts whereby members of the public seems to be ignorant, because even when there is a chopper that has landed in the interior part of the country, or the KF for the president, you saw some people are going even to an extent of touching it. They want to sit on it. It's like they don't understand that it is safe for them not to come near that plane. And also, when an officer has just proacted, the way you have said proactive, to ensure that your life is safer, then you are going to an extent of assaulting that officer. It's like you don't understand that it was actually protecting your right. It was actually protecting your right to life, because you never wanted him to die. So in the extent of him carrying out his duty as an enforcement officer, you are going to an extent of infringing that officer's right. To me, that one is an offense. And as you have said, you might still have things. Even you might be like, okay, we are a litigant society. If any case, arrest me, take me to court. But before you reach the court, there are some corridors you must pass.
Yeah, who tells you that you're just going akushike hapo na kupeleke kotini? Kuna that holding place utakuwa unawekwa hapo kidogo. But like as you said, Mr. Miguda, there are some where is the respect for the law enforcement officers? You know, I think like at some point we the public, there are some things that we do that might land you in problem because of ignorance, the way you've said. Because like there's no way, you are trying to rescue a dog, which is okay, but the law enforcer is telling you no. Now where you're going is quite much dangerous, because like it was almost taking off. Anything can happen. And remember, even that police officer had to risk his life to make sure that you are safe. Because when it was taking off, it is not that he's okay with that one taking off, but because he's doing what he's supposed to be doing to make sure that you as somebody, you are safe. That's why he was there, to make sure that the public is safe. But what do? Even after risking his life, you go ahead and slap that police officer. So some of the things that we need to learn, and some of the things we need to know, because I'm telling you, utaenda huko ndani, utaanza kulilia hapo, utasikia president, MP na nini, you know. But like we have to know there are ways in which you can solve these issues, rather than laying your hands on the law enforcer, knowing very well that what you are doing is wrong, or you want to fight him. Yeah, Miguda, it's an offense, and plus it is a public disorder, all of this warranties arrest. You know, I would just remember. Do you remember? Let me tell you. Do you remember when Inda had a traditional wedding at Migori? There was this guy who hanged on the chopper. That would be now, you know, that the guy who hanged on the chopper when the chopper was taking off. Yeah. Do you know that guy? After that, the law enforcement came for him, because first of all, he was endangering his life. Secondly, he was endangering the life of the people who were on the chopper. And he's currently, as we speak, is in jail. Na hii hajapiga hata police officer, kitendo tu ndiye alifanya. So some of the things that now as public, there are things that we need to learn, to know where does it end and where does it start. So those boundaries. Okay, that is what he's there. There's also a video that was trending, Miguda. I don't know whether you saw it in Eldoret, a Chinese person going after an employee, and even like kind of like taking an iron sheet and beating this guy with it. And from the sources, I think like the guy did forgive. That from what I learned, did forgive. But that is not the case. You know, some of the things that are happening in the country, especially with the investors, on how they treat Kenyans, or, you know, and such like cases, I think like when whether the guy has been forgiven or not, I think especially he should face the law. This mambo hata wewe kusema kwamba nimemsamea, kwa sababu ni jambo ambalo unajua, mtu akikuja kwa nchi yenu, ingawaji unamfanyia kazi, lakini anakuonesha madharau. There are those, what are the work ethics or the laws, the labor laws that govern, especially that protects the right of the employer, especially in those organizations. What training did they take, especially on how to deal with the employees, to an extent whereby somebody is kicking you, it's like demeaning. Remember, this is a father, this is a son, furthermore is a Kenyan citizen, you know. So those are some of the things that the leadership should address, especially the I was expecting to see even governor of Eldoret and even the leaders from Eldoret are coming out to condemn or to call for action for the Chinese citizen who was harassing a Kenyan employee. That is, you know,
in Eldoret,
yeah,
we if you go to the higher courts
in Eldoret, you find that there is labor, employment, and labor relation courts in Eldoret. And also in our constitution, we have the labor relations rights for the employee, the relationship between an employer and an employee. And even to say that today you fire me without my consent, I can go to labor and employment relation courts or to seek my rights so that you can reinstate me back to the work. Now you find out that if the employee was being frustrated to an extent of being assaulted or kicked by the so-called employer, and the employer is a foreigner, is not even a Kenyan citizen by whatever means. And then you don't need to mistreat me because of my capacity, or maybe because you have employed me. Now you have guarantee to mistreat me, the fact that you are paying me. There are rights I have to enjoy as your employer, because if that person actually, because you talked about Eldoret, and it's a very good one, because in Eldoret, if you go to the high courts, there is a court of appeal, there's high court, there's environment and land courts, and lastly there's labor and relation courts. So if they go there to seek the rights, I think there are some redress they actually can be granted to the employee.
And that is true. Mchuki wa makofi. Hello.
Hello.
Hey, habari gani?
Nzuri sana.
Uko salama baba?
Niko salama kabisa.
Wewe sasa hizi majina
Walipata kupitia channel gani ya radio?
Okay, asante sana. Pia naona ndugu yangu Makubura pia ako area. So we were just looking at some trending issues, and about this case in Eldoret, what happened to the Kenyan citizen, especially with an investor. So that one happened in the public. That is something that was captured in the camera. So you ask yourself, how many of such incidences have happened without coming into the camera, in terms of even how they are being treated? So this is an issue whereby sometimes I like Matiang'i. Remember how Matiang'i was very, 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 very hard on such like cases, So I think like the leadership of Eldoret, including all the leadership, including all this, when such like issue happened or such incident happened, I think that there's more that meets the eye, There's more that is hidden inside that we don't know that is happening. And in cases where countries care for their citizens, or where county government care for their citizens, that is a case that should be investigated, and that company should be investigated and find how are the employees are being treated. Yeah, because to an extent whereby somebody can just kick a Kenyan citizen, and with that courage, then baadaye anakuambia ati nimeomba msamaha, alafu sisi pia tunakaa tu hivyo. That is not right. Those are some of the things that I tell you, if that Kenyan citizen was in those guys' country and he does that, I tell you, you're not going to go with it. Hata useme kwamba aseme kwamba umemsamea, you will have to face the law, and now they're saying that tutakurudisha kazi. So those are some of the things that actually the leadership should always think about. Mr. Joseph, maybe if you have something to weigh in.
No, but that guy said that he has forgiven that guy, so you cannot take them to court, because if you say you are forgiven, the person, you're supposed to take the person to court. So the fault is that guy. If he wanted to press charges, he could have continued to press charges, so that this thing shall never happen again. But he said he has forgiven. It's good to forgive, lakini kuna mambo ingine ya kuforgive. So it's good he forgave like how Jesus taught, but so what does it mean when he's saying I want to forgive you, then I go back to work? So bado utaenda kwa huyo jamaa alikuwa anakupiga ama what do you mean? So it's very complicated. We cannot talk on his behalf because he has already forgiven him.
No, Joseph, you see, this is what I'm not okay. We are not talking on his behalf, but remember, this has came out on the camera. So what about now inside, those that do not come to the public? It's not only on
It's so much. It's so much. I don't know if you have ever worked for a Chinese. You have ever worked for a Chinese, because I've ever worked for a Chinese person. Brother, those guys, they are very brutal. Tulikuwa tunalima hizi mamitaro za kuchimba za sewage, the sewage line mitaro. But brother, instead of taking that crane kuweka zile concrete za zile pipe za mitaro za sewage unajua zile za concrete, walikuwa wanatuambia tubingirishe na mikono mpaka huko chini. Mama hawezi kuchukua hiyo crane ati yaweke hiyo mapipe pole ati nyinyi mchungue. Brother, you know that thing how it is heavy, that pipe, so how they are heavy because it is full of concrete. And hiyo wakati wote umeshinda ukilima, then they tell you that salary is going to come after 2 weeks. Aulipwi kisiku. Then on top of that, ukibigirisha bado hizo vitu mimi nilikuwa nachukuliwa, ukichukuliwa unapelekwa unaekelea simiti karibu gunia 50 kwa pickup na ni wewe peke yako, na mishahara ilikuwa 300. So brother, if you have ever worked for these guys, you know how they are very cunning and they are very brutal. Me, I can never want to work for a Chinese person in Kenya. I pray to God nisifanyia kazi Chinese in Kenya, but it's there's so many things that happen in the hidden. This one is just because it has been seen, but so many things that happen. But do the government care? They don't care. As long as it's when these guys came and they said that when they'll be doing their project, is a must they have their people who are supervising the projects. It's a must they have their people who will be coming to oversee the projects. And those guys, when you hear their stories, some of them, they are inmates in prisons in China. So how do you expect the inmates in China, when they are coming to do their projects here in Kenya, they are going to behave? If they are inmates in their country, what are behave to the same way? And they are very racist because it's not the first time. Si huyu si kupigwa amepigwa, huyo mwingine si alikuwa ameitwa monkey. Si kuna mwingine alikuwa amesema monkey, wa Kenya ni wanugu. Kwani this time tumeona hii mambo, but does the government care? No, it does not really care because it gets money from China. Does it care?
Okay, Mr. Joseph. We will make sure, we will have to talk about, especially when we saw such like we will always talk about them, and the relevant authorities should take, even if you've been forgiven, ni kama labda alikuwa ametishiwa labda tutakurudishia kazi ama amepatiwa pesa kidogo, lakini hiyo that one has not solved the issues. It will still happen. Makobura, how are you doing?
Good evening. I don't know whether I'm clear enough.
You are kind of like breaking, brother. Yeah, a little bit.
Okay. Sorry, I'm not yet home.
Okay.
Allow me first to say hi to our good friends. I can see Joseph. I can see Miguda. Not forgetting Goodia. I can also see Laban among others. Niwaambie niko salama, nimepotea kidogo, lakini ni hali ya maisha. First, I want to give my comments on the Chinese guy that we've been speaking about. I watched that clip, and I can say that we've had a tendency where foreigners are coming to the country and then they start misbehaving. They think that they're above the law. And especially with the Chinese, this is not the first time. Remember, some years ago, we saw the same. And I witnessed one around a week or 2 weeks ago when I was just walking around Kalash. I remember seeing a guy. There were some 2 Chinese in one TX here in Nairobi. And then what I saw, they had a driver. And then these 2 Chinese were rank. I saw them giving instructions to the driver. They had some issues. So I tried asking the driver what the problem was, but the 2 guys were seriously drunk. And I remember seeing that one of them alighting on the other side and to pull out the driver, and they left him. If you know somewhere, if you've ever been to Kilelesho along Oloitoktok Road, they left the guy there, the driver, and then they sped off. As they were doing that, remember these guys were seriously drunk. And then I had a conversation with this gentleman. He was from the Murima part. This guy was telling me that, when these guys came, they didn't know anybody and they used his information, opened several businesses. The guy is a trustee, does a lot of businesses for them. At the moment these guys are drunk, they become very violent. Imagine this guy was left on the road. He had to walk at that particular time. So he had to walk after magari. Then I asked myself that why is it that foreigners are coming and then they're taking over, and they're taking over thinking that they're above the law. So I think these are serious things that as a people we have to always keep speaking about, so that the relevant authorities or even the people of Kenya would not seriously submit to them some demigods, because this is our country. That is number one. We have and we must be respected. The same way, if you go to these other countries, I know and understand very well. You go to China, you try misbehaving, utapelekwa jela ama you'll be deported. So I think deporting that guy was a good sign, because it partly shows all those foreigners who have weird behaviors that this is a country where law has to be followed and people's rights have to be respected.
Okay.
That is what I can say.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Makobura. And Goodia is asking, Kevin Nobura, when you come, please declare. Sasa utadeclare kama, hebu tuambie declare anasimama ama na declare alikuwa wapi ama na declare nini? Hebu tuambie. Kenya should stop worshipping bright skin. Okay, thank you so much for that comment. Now, what again did I want to talk about? Yes, today in the morning, in Mbere constituency, the campaign has been intensified by His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua. Today I saw he was having door-to-door campaign. He's walking and greeting people going into their homes. And this one tells you how seriousness Rigathi Gachagua has taken this by-election, especially in Mbere, is somewhere he has to prove a point. And also saw the former Bahati member of parliament, that is Kimani, also was talking about the language that is being used by Rigathi Gachagua in the political scene. So there's so much that is going on. And before we discuss all those, let's kind of like switch the gears and talk about, look at what happened in Mombasa, especially, and ask one question: that if at all that the Right Honorable Prime Minister was in that meeting, Laban Misiani, how are you doing? If Right Honorable Prime Minister was in that meeting, all the confrontation that we saw, especially with the leaders, could it happen? Or they could have talked about it. Then there's another thing also that we are raising. I think we spoke with Migoda about the legitimacy. One of the current chair and even the leaders who are confirmed that day, according to the constitution of ODM, are they legitimate? Because there's so many questions of illegitimacy rising from some members who feel that the due process, especially when it comes to electing of the leaders, was not done the right way. That is one. Some members also claim, or some of the members feel, that what was the hurry, especially by doing all this, by especially proposing Oburu to be the chair, interim chair, or an acting capacity, yet Anyang' Nyong'o was also appointed by the Right Honorable Prime Minister when he was campaigning for the AUC. What happened? Could Nyong'o could have taken over for those periods when they're still looking for, or are still waiting on how to elect the party leader? What was the hurry? to do even the anniversary at 20. Because like, if you saw what happens, the people who were still emotional, majority of people were still emotional. So it was not even a celebration. It was evoking the emotions of the majority of some of the party members. And with all what happened, it shows that that there are people who are running, that there's something that they know that people do not know, especially kufanya vitu ziende haraka haraka. Nisiongee mengi, wacha nianze na wewe Joseph, nikuulize tu, ingekuwa baba yupo, hayo vituko zilitokea, ingetokea kweli?
Thank you, Brother Benson. I don't know why you did not start with ODM member. You know, you could have started with the ODM member. You know, me bado niko kwa sideline. The ODM member was supposed to be given the rights because he has not been here. You know, I've been talking about ODM from Sunday, so I think he should go first and hear his points.
Miguda, Joseph, thank you for holding the floor.
Okay. I also knew that I was supposed to be going fast. I don't know why you started with Joseph. So, but for the record, Joseph, thank you for that one. I've not joined ODM formally. That must be put on the record. And you know the circumstances surrounding.
Gypsy Corner is on your case so much.
I'll lead one-on-one Gypsy with good ear too. I think Brother Benson will actually intervene. So that one we will put it to rest. So let me put out my contribution.
Yeah.
No, but it must be known that I've not joined ODM formally. That one is it's there. So that one is, I'm not even a member by statute. There's no formal, like we have said, Burmese government is not legally framework. So like me, there's nothing that you can tie me with ODM. Okay, so I was saying, or I wanted to conclude by saying that first, if Raila could be in the anniversary, people could have concentrate on the agenda. Like I've told before, whenever there's a political gathering, and also you had me want me to talk about Rigathi Gachagua. Okay, whenever there is a political gathering, people usually set agenda. So you must stick to the agenda. And that one has been a norm, even in the UDA, even in Gachagua camp, even now in Raila's camp. But what happened at Mombasa, you find that now, even after there was agenda which was placed by the party officials, and even Zifuna went ahead and advised Babu Wino that kindly, fuata nidhamu. But Babu Wino dismissed Sifuna's advice and also have a divergent opinion. So I can say, in the absence of Baba, people have their opinion and they don't. So in short, no one is going to control anybody and no one is going to set agenda for everybody. If I think that your agenda is not favoring my interest, I have no obligation to be loyal to you or second. You understand? So people only respected Baba, but not the party. It was Baba who people paid allegiance to, not the party. So when the Baba is not there, I cannot follow Mbadi, I cannot follow Joho, I cannot follow Arati, I cannot follow Sifuna. Everybody will have their say, and that's what Baba will say. This might be my last word in this Wadosi. So after having said that, I just want to have like 3 points. One, there's a problem in ODM, in the big one. And because you find out that the UDA government want ODM, you know, as a people, we expect social and economic rights from the government, the service delivery. The government should do to us. So in case there is no service delivery by the government, they want ODM to defend the government, that actually their service and delivery. That's why a section of ODM people have decided that we are not going to defend this government. But there are people who are in the so-called the experts and other people are actually defending the government service delivery. But you understand that it is not the duty of ODM to defend the government. That one must be put into clear submission. ODM has got no duty to defend the government. ODM has a duty to ensure that the service are delivered to people, particularly economical and social rights. People get them. So anybody want to tell ODM people to go and defend William Ruto, that's where some people are drawing the line. Number two, ODM, they are all right now, because they are the minority in the National Assembly and they are also minority in the Senate. They have a constitutional duty to check and balance, that they have to put government into check, the doctrine of separation of powers, checks and balances. So when they are doing checks and balances, some people in that party also want the ODM member to play praise and worship, to be sycophant to William Ruto. So what the other members are trying to say is that we know our role is to check and balance. Our role is not praise and worship. So we are not going to praise and worship. There are some people want to subject them. You must praise and worship. They will say, okay, you praise and worship, we are not going to praise and worship. And lastly, they show popularity. The current government is unpopular. The Ruto's government is very unpopular to the people of Kenya. And there are some people, experts, or some station that ODM, want to force people that, as ODM, popularize this government. You must popularize it. People are saying, okay, it is unpopular. We cannot popularize it. We will not popularize it. Yeah. So
Yeah.
there is no way you want to subject us to popularize government, to popularize this unpopular government. So to me, those are the three issues that are really pending. That there are people who want ODM to defend the government, and we have the UDA members. UDA should defend the government. There are some people who want ODM to praise and worship the government. No, ODM are going to do that one. Unless the people want the ODM to popularize the candidate of William Ruto, they know to do those things. So I can just say, right now, you find out that the structure of leadership, when Baba was the party leader, there was an NDC that confirmed Baba. But when Oburu Odinga was appointed in acting capacity, what happened at Mombasa was celebration, the so-called anniversary, ODM 20. There is no linkage between the anniversary and NDC. Anniversary was just celebration. But you find out that these people, instead of doing celebration, they are compelling the role of NDC to be done in celebration. What will NDC do when they meet? Because the NDC are supposed to the party leader and even the three deputies, even the chairperson, because they have not been confirmed. They are taking the mandates of NDC and reducing it to the anniversary. That's why in their constitution, and actually I shared with you in the morning, in their constitution, Article 622B talked about, in case of the absence of party leader, the power is vested to the NDC. And that's why when Winnie was talking about NDC, some people grown cold feet, because now Winnie has touched the reality. And I just want to conclude by saying, I also had a opportunity to see Gachagua. Gachagua was doing door-to-door meeting. And what make me amazed is that Gachagua
amepotea na internet yako.
Gachagua has hacked you.
You wanted to say something bad about okay, let me okay, thank you so much, Biguda. Maybe you will come back and at least conclude on submission, especially on what Rigathi Gachagua was doing on a door-to-door meeting, and it tells you how he's very serious with the campaigns that are going in Mbere, which will be discussed again in the next session. So before I invite in Joseph, there are so many things that now are coming out that so many people did not understand. And, you know, when you look at all these political parties, they have the NDC and we have all that. But, you know, again, ODM has, we call the Central Committee. That is a committee that majority of the political parties do not have. So you find that that's where like majority of decisions are being made. And if you look at what happened in Mombasa, and I think that's where now Winnie was raising the question and asking the people who are now running the broad-based government, especially from ODM. Remember, if you remember very well, when the issue of the broad-based government was being bathed, or it was in the public domain, if you can remember, Orengo talked about it and Orengo was opposed to it. And one of the reasons that Orengo was opposed to it, but Orengo was talking about how it can be structured, you know, so that it can be anchored within the law. That was something that Orengo was fighting for. If you look at right now, the 10-point agenda is not anchored anywhere. It is a gentleman agreement between it was between the Right Honorable Prime Minister and the President William Ruto, the 10-point agenda. And there is nobody that you can hold responsible. That, for instance, when they're talking about they're telling President William Ruto to implement as a person, because this agreement was between the Prime Minister and the President, though it was brought into the Central Committee. That is one. So there's no structures as that is anchoring that. That's, if you remember when Orengo was protesting about that, and that is the reason. And there's nobody where you can hold it accountable. And even anywhere that it is, that we have the broad-based government. Broad-based government is informal, it's not formal. There's nowhere. It's that by the name. And we know that there was a 10-point agenda. But hakuna mahali ambapo unaweza sema that is anchored in the law. The way the one for Kibaki and Raila was. So that's where the problem is. Another thing somebody was talking about, Miguda has spoken about it, about the NDC, on when do, especially the ODM, especially they should be electing their leaders. You know, and I think that's where Winnie is going to, and the majority of people who are in those positions, they do not want. When the positions of the deputies were created, when those positions were created, yeah, those positions were created, but they were not confirmed. And what happens, according to what Miguda was saying, is that for those positions, for any positions to be confirmed, they have to go to the NDC, which the other day they were saying the NDC is coming in March. So when they're coming in March, what are they going to do in March? Yet they've confirmed their what? The leaders, because all of them, including the party chair, were under, they're working, I think like they're working under like they're acting, they were not officially in. So there's this question, maybe Miguda, when your time comes, you will also have to explain to it. And you talked about of Article 622, that is 22B of the ODM. In the event the party leader is unable to discharge of her duties by reason of physical or mental infirmity, death, resignation, or where he or she to be a party member or a member of parliament, a special session of National Delegates Conference shall be convened to elect a new party leader. A special. So the special, it should be a special National Delegate Conference should be convened to elect a new party leader. It should be special. So when you look at the NDC that confirmed the party leader, it was not special because this was a celebration of ODM at 20. So as we speak, because the delegates are the people who should confirm and elect. So if we go by this, maybe somebody can correct us. If we go by this, then the position right now that is being held by Oburu, it is illegitimate. If we go by this, yeah.
Brother Benson, I think you're asking me so many questions in one statement. Let me answer the ones you have given me. I start with that one.
Yeah.
You cannot be that you have been confirmed as a party leader or a secretary general or a deputy of a political party just by members who are only concentrated in the coast region. You need to have a delegates meeting of all the members of the party within the region, which is Kenya.
Yeah.
So that means the position that were given, they are not legitimate positions, because it means it is only the delegates from Mombasa, because you told all of them to go there. You told some people to go there, but those are not all the delegates for Mombasa, for ODM, because if it is an ODM meeting, they are supposed to be having a venue and a place, and they're supposed to be the structures of the NEC who are supposed to be there, so that they can confer on you. But I think they did the process which they did, they were doing it as legal, because if you see, they called, when Sifuna was talking, he was calling the NEC. He was calling so and so from NEC. You need to. I think one member is being told to propose. Then one guy from the NEC is told to second. Then the deputy party leader, it's called Satsimba Arati, was told to read it and to accept. So I think, but I think in the NDC, they are supposed to be having a multiple, maybe elections. I think they're supposed to be having elections in NDC.
So, and that is
to choose the leader on a ballot basis, I think.
Okay, that's okay. But where now question arises is that when you look at what they were going to do at 20, the main reason for at 20, if they were to call the special delegates to do that, if it in a working I may say that if it's something that is working properly, what could have happened was, like, you don't mix the two.
That's why you are told. I wanted to answer now the second question. The first one was answering you about the NDC. The second question was to answer you about the ODM at 20, and when they came to confer these leaders as deputy party leader, the party leader, and the secretary general. This thing you were told by Mzalendo here, and I think you argued for about 10-15 minutes. You were told that this celebration of ODM at 20 was done in a hurry manner, because you had events that took place before the celebration at 20.
Yeah.
I think the Right Honorable Prime Minister had envisioned a place where they are going to do the ODM at 20, but we never knew that we are going to lose him. So after we lost him, I think they could have given this time room. I think even they could have pushed this celebration after, then they bring the NDC before. That is what they could have done. But what they did, they brought the NDC. After they brought the NDC, then after they brought the celebrations, now you see they are saying they are going to go for an NDC. So you see, they could have just done the NDC, and they could have just hung on these celebrations and call for an NDC. Then they elect the members, and they can celebrate the NDC well without any hiccups. But now you go and say in the NDC that you have chosen this one and this one, then you say you need to call another NDC. You look a bit confused. And the problem with ODM right now, they need to stop this thing of seem like they are confused in everything. If they start saying that NDC will happen after, it seems now like the things which are being done in the party, they are being done hurriedly. It's confused. So I need to answer another question you asked me about. There's a question you asked me about. I'm forgetting. That's why I told you you wrote me a bunch of statement questions. There's one that I needed to answer very quick, but let me go on Gachagua issue, because I see people have commented on that. I'm telling you, and I told you here, Brother Benson, when we came here, that Bere North by-elections will be a war zone. I told you here, it will be a war zone. That's why you can see that it is highly contested, because I told you they are trying to prove a point, And now you can see what I'm saying. Ruto is trying to prove a point that you cannot come here and just say that I removed you from the deputy president seat, and you are still going to come and beat me in the by-elections. How will you beat me in the by-elections? It means that, okay, it confirms that Gachagua, what you has been saying all along is he's the one who made Ruto get votes from the mountain. That is all it means. So he needs to clarify this very well. And I think it is, and I told you also for Sisi Barire, it is war even for the county, because Sisi Barire also is receiving the fire attacks from the opposition, because they are saying now you are not even doing any work. If you had today, yesterday Gachagua talking in a vernacular radio station, I don't know if you understood me. I was understood what they were talking about. And he was saying that Sisi Barire has done nothing in Embu. Clearly nothing. He was told, there's a TV presenter who was telling, what about the stadiums? What about the markets which have been done? He told them, he rubbished off and said, the stadium was done because I was there as a deputy president and I pushed it. And that market you're talking about, I'm the one who was there and I pushed for it. So there's nothing that has been done. And even the markets that are being built is the national government which is giving to the county to run, but they are not building anything. So I came here and I told you that this one will be a war for the county, a war between Rigathi Gachagua and Ruto, because he's pitting it like that. And concerning the things that he said yesterday, he said that there is a plot which has been, me, I don't like to talk about gossip, but he said some certain things that were there.
Yeah.
And he said, even the TV presenter told him that nowadays you say things and they start happening. So he said that they have the PS of energy.
Yeah.
And they have a plot of switching off the lights during the counting of the votes. And he truly said that. And he said that they have an agreement with the CS Rukwe, and they are going to switch off the lights. And that's why I'm telling you that is volatile politics, because Ruku also is in the mix and is trying to show that ikiti, Mr. President, ulinitoa kwa hii kiti, lakini si ati kumaanisha mimi ni bure. Hii kiti nataka kurudishia hapo, nataka nikurudishie hapo hiyo kiti, uone mimi ni bado niko na nguvu. But one thing that is happening, you cannot win a race between two politicians, one who was running as a governor, who is called Kivuti, and another guy who's called Muturi, because all of them, they have been leaders there. Now there is even talk about how Leonard Wamudende is not from Embu. He was born in Embu. He's a voter in Kilifi. Now it is opening too much Pandora boxes, and I think this one will be highly volatile. You are talking about Kasipul. This one will be Kasipul Kambere.
Okay, Kabondo. Let me thank you. Let me just
Kasipul Kambere.
Kabondo. Let me correct something here, Laban Misiani. I did not say that it was illegitimate. I was just asking the question, is that one illegitimate? And the reason why I was asking that question, I don't know whether you have the constitution of ODM, because like when you look at what was happening, the preparation was that they were going to look ODM at 20. And what were the things that were supposed to be discussed ODM at 21? They might be looking at 20. What have we achieved? ODM at 20. What have we achieved in our 20 years of existence? You evaluate and you look at now, what is the way forward? What next are we going to do? But you see, what happened was that when they were having that ODM at 20, that is the same time that special delegates meeting was held. Yeah?
But Brother Benson, I don't think there is any issue, because all of them, they're in agreement that they want the party to be on.
Yeah,
because all of them, they are in agreement. They want 3 deputy party leaders. They are in agreement that Sifuna will be the CSG. So I don't think there is any issue, even if it is like that. Maybe they are going to do the NDC in proper manner. and they are going to.
So
But
yeah,
but what I was talking about is they need to stop the confusion they are having.
yeah. So
It
that,
shows that they are confused.
so when you have that confusion now, that confusion is what, like, that's why when I, was it, that's when I, what is somebody can say that illegitimacy, because if let's say, for example, Joseph and Makobura, sorry for keeping you, if we say, for example, it was matter of urgency, right? They could have done it this way, because like you have to call this special, when you call the special delegates meeting, it is not something that is going to be a big one. Yeah, I don't think a special delegate meeting can, maybe Laban can assist us to know what is the, how the, what is the size
You
of
can
the,
do it even in Kasarani Arena.
yes, it's not like such big one, right? So many people are arguing, even if you go to the comment section and you go to the internet, there's those simple questions, and people are tying that the reason why that this illegitimacy and the process how it was done, why it is now people are looking at it based on what Winnie said, that we need to go back to the NDC. So that's why it is being raised. The Laban, that is where we are bringing the argument. So maybe if you have, because like if you, based on this article, you know, they might have done it well by having the special delegates meeting at the same time the Orange at 20 is happening, but people see that that should not be the case. That's why I was asking the question. I was not saying it was illegitimate. I was asking if that one is legitimate.
Brother Benson, you keep firing me up. I need to talk, and I want my brother Marco Bura to talk. But I think all they want is just to stamp the authority.
Okay.
That is what they need to do in the ODM at 20 celebrations, to show that this is the party leader is Uburu Odinga, and there is nothing that is changing. So I think they need to stamp that authority and hear how the people are going to receive it, the news. I think
all right. Thank you so much. All right, is well answered. Makobura, how are you doing?
I'm fine. How are you?
So okay, thank you. So based on what we are asking, and based on even what we've read, the NDC, the special, and it happened during the time when they were celebrating ODM at 20. And now the issue of NDC came in, and now people are starting to look at the special on how the process, even now their leaders were confirmed, yet they still have an NDC as per that is coming in March. What do you have to say about that?
Okay, thank you so much. The issue of ODM, since Baba left, ODM has had several, quite a number of problems and challenges that they've been going through. So the other day, of course, we saw them appointing Dr. Buru as the party leader. And then after that, of course, we saw them going for the celebration. And the only thing that is we are seeing as let me say this was supporting ODM. We are seeing a situation where there is a serious conflict. People are having different views, different political stance. And to me, I think that is not good for ODM because it might get to a point where they will then split, or they will get to a point where when you see people having different views, automatically it will lead to the death of that political party. So what they need to do is first focus on ensuring that they bring everybody together. You have to entertain and come speak in one voice. The problem again they are facing is that Baba left them without giving them a clear way on the right way to follow. And that has been a challenge because we are seeing situations where quite a number of them coming out saying that Baba did this, and that is confusing their supporters. The supporters now at a point where they're questioning who then is speaking for party and who then is giving the right view. Like my good, then who is speaking for ODM?
Makobura, would you please mind setting your mic? Makobura.
Okay, let me check on it.
Okay. Now, Miguda, let me come to you. Makobura has talked of there was no clear path left for them, especially to follow. And that one brings me to the question, when now we look at the future of political parties in our country, because look at, I want to give you an example of some parties here. Look at ANC. When ANC, especially of South Africa, was formed by Mandela, and the structures, they came in with the structures, I mean, that I would say were working even after Mandela left. The NNC continued well through their structures. Then look at CCM, Chama cha Mapinduzi. Apart from what happened the other day, now it has some questions that we are asking. But if you look at the structures of Chama cha Mapinduzi, even when Mwalimu Julius Kambarage Nyerere left, then came Hassan Mwinyi, then came Benjamin Mkapa, then came Jakaya, and all that. You find that even the big names, if they leave the party, you find that the party still continues. When you compare this, or what we are seeing right now with ODM, in terms of the structures of a political party, especially when somebody who was really behind that political party exits in either way, what does it tell you about the future of our political parties, and even the political parties that we have?
The party, as its name asserts, ODM, is in existence. The problem comes in when the people walked out of that party. Now we say ODM in Aisha, something like that. And that's why you have cited the issue of ANC and Chama cha Mapinduzi. When you have the people, then there is an existence. And I want to say that people are saying that there was no clear structure left by Baba. First, let me tell you that people loved Baba. People never loved ODM. And when Baba died, no one is now going to pay allegiance to any leader in that party, because ODM belongs to the people. ODM doesn't belong to a certain section of the people. That's why you understand that. To me, if now we can say the issue of NDC is because those are the structures that are left, that in case I'm not there, I don't need to come like Pat Raila to give the now because I'll not be there, you'll do this. And no, there are clear paths people can refer to, and particularly the people. And also the issue of NDC here is very critical, because you heard what Abdul Samad Sharif said in Mombasa, that if the Nairobi people are not ready to convene in NDC, I'm ready to convene a special NDC here in Mombasa. The issue of NDC is very critical because it is a national delegate conference, but nationally, you know, ODM is not only in Mombasa or Nyanza or Nairobi. ODM is even in Wajir. So you need to convene at, as they used to do it at Kasarani Gymnasium, that capacity. Not that every member, but the delegates from each and every particular regions, they convene and they do election. What happens is that we have the people like Oburu Ding and the other party. If they can convene a special NDC, and the NDC can just confirm them, that one will be in accordance with the laws of the ODM. But yes, whereby the NDC has not been given an opportunity to confirm them in accordance with the ODM. That's why we are saying it was not in accordance to the laws by the ODM, because they have to have an NDC to confirm the said people. Because Oburu Dinga is not going to lead ODM of the people of Barcelona. Oburu Dinga is going to lead the entire ODM nationally. And we talked about the issue of ODM now. To me, I can just say there's an issue here whereby there are people who want to use ODM to bargain, or there are people who want to use ODM to survive politically. So, in other way, it depends on your interest. There are people who have promised William Ruto that we are going to give the party, keep us in your government, the so-called expert. And the people are telling William Ruto, we are forming the next government with you. We are demanding for 6 slots, deputy president, other slots.
Yeah.
And there are people who also are saying, why are you bargaining on your own behalf and you are leaving the people and the party? So the question, the problem is here. No one wants to leave, because if you leave, you will be accused that you wanted to leave even before Baba died. So you are the people who are betrayed Baba Big Chama. And even if they are staying, they each and every section want other people to leave.
To leave, yeah.
The junior section and the Wanga section want the Arati, Sifuna, Abdul Swamad to leave, so that they can say, you have left for us ODM, we can proceed to it, negotiate.
Yeah.
People like Sifuna also want these people who are not ready to go to the people. These people who are afraid of NDC to leave, so that they can review the party and say, okay, these people are afraid of NDC. Now we got the party. So I think that's why the problem is. No, people, or some people want to be kicked out, so that they will walk like, okay, we were kicked out. When Baba left, we were kicked out. But no one is willing to leave voluntarily. And this issue of ODM, we talked about the structures. I think there's no better party currently in this country with a structure than ODM. Look at we have the Central Committee, we have the governing, there is National Governing Committee, and also we have the NEC. And most of the decisions are being made by the Central Committee.
Central Committee, yes.
People like Odiworo went there, very critical decisions are being made there. Then we have the NDC and even the grassroots leaders. I believe that there's a structure on how to handle things in ODM. But there are people who don't want to follow structure, because if you follow, in ODM, if you follow the structure, it will always refer you to the people. That's why that issue of NDC was inserted. And when Winnie spoke, Winnie said very clearly that ODM was not formed in a boardroom. It was inserting the people. Number two, he also said that if this is the case, let us call NDC. NDC is where the people will speak. And at NDC, it's not easy to compromise, because there are not only Luos in NDC. There are Kisis in NDCs. There are Somalis in NDCs. There are coastal people in NDC. There are lawyers in NDC. So at the NDC, the Kisis will demand for the interest of Arati. At NDC, the coast will demand for the interest of Abdul Samad. So at NDC, you can't have consensus that, okay, the NDC has just confirmed one region. There will be no favoritism at the NDC. That's why these people are afraid of going to the NDC, because they know the NDC will not favor them. Because with them, this issue, like I've told Brother Benson, it is very logical. For instance, why do you force people to praise and worship, but there's a role for you to check and balance? What this are you forcing people to praise and worship? What do you get from? So, like you want me to praise and worship? What am I getting from praise and worship as an ordinary citizen? What is ordinary ODM member getting from praise and worship? What is ordinary member of ODM getting from defending the government of William Ruto? What is ordinary member of ODM getting by going to an extent of making Ruto to be popular? Those are the questions you should ask. So if you go to NDC, you get the people. The people will ask those questions, that as ordinary member of ODM, what are you getting? So, but as individual, at their level, there are people who are getting direct interest from the president, and they want to use the people to protect their interests. That is where we are drawing the line. And we're saying, if it's a matter of service delivery, like I've told about economic and social rights, if it's a matter of SHA, if SHA works for Joseph, it works for me. Me and Joseph, we are from different regions. If education model works for Joseph, it works for me. If infrastructure are improved across the country, it works for Joseph, it works for me. When there is issue of clean water, when there is issue of inclusivity, when Joseph is hired, I'm also hired. It works for us. So if it can, we don't even care who's the president, but if it can work for Kenyans entirely, It doesn't matter. But this issue whereby it is not working for the Kenyans, then you want to compel people to do what you want because of two people getting some direction. That's why we are saying we must be very clear in our mind. We must be very sober. And we agree. As you want to compel the people to do your way, what do the people get in return? Does people are just being used for political mileage, then they're going to be dumped. So I think that's where the problem. So there are people who want to safeguard the sovereignty of people. There are people who want to safeguard the interests of the people, but there are people who want to safeguard their own interests using people.
All right. I think, there's also some myth here that we need to demystify, Miguda, and we need to talk about it. I think what is in question here is about broad-based, and who should be in the broad-based. In true facts, when we talk about true facts, there's the broad-based government does not exist. This is just a wording because it's not structured.
It exists. You can see Laban insisted it exists.
No,
Laban must say two terms.
Laban ni rafiki yetu tunawajua, Laban tunamjua. Ukweli ipo hivi. Kuna ushirikiano. Yeah? There's that agreement that was done between the Right Honorable Prime Minister and President William Ruto. That agreement is there, but it's named the broad-based government. But it's not structured. Laban knows that. Yeah? It is not structured. Yeah? It is not structured.
You need Laban to get very angry today.
No.
The government is broad-based.
No, Laban haezi kuwa angry. Huyo tumetoka naye mbali, haezi. Hata baada atakwambia 2 term and 1 term, which is okay. That is one. Then secondly, there's nobody forcing anybody to stay in ODM. I mean, not in ODM, sorry. In broad-based government. You can decide to stay or you can decide not to be in broad-based government. And that's why you're seeing there are quite a number of leaders who are opposed to it, and those who are supporting it, So my question to you, even you, Laban, in the event that the ODM are going to the NDC, the way they said they're going to NDC in March, with the divisions and confrontation that we are seeing from the leaders, how is that NDC going to be, Mr. Joseph? That's in brief. With all these issues that we are having, and they're headed to the NDC, when they are not united, how is that NDC going to be?
Yes, thank you for that question. And I want to really congratulate Brother Miguda. I'm seeing he's now coming to the leader. I'm supposed to be hearing from him. I can hear how he's articulating issues. And I'm wishing him all the best in everything he does. I think now he's becoming a true leader of the people, because when you hear the questions that he answered, he told you that he's thinking about how he's going to be able to advocate for his people. Even before thinking about the broad-based government, you need first to think of how you're going to advocate for your people. And thank you, Brother Benson. You clearly stated what the obvious people don't want to say. There is no broad-based government. It's just an outfit called like that, which is trying to metaphorize najaribu kuiba ikue broad-based. Okay, let me answer that question about the NDC. I think that NDC will be explosive, because you cannot be having the NDC and certain members of the party are divided and some are throwing. Now, how do you expect to have an NDC and you're supposed to invite everyone on board? Because I've been hearing there's fire between Millicent Odhiambo and Alai. How do you expect those guys to be in the same forum? How do you expect the likes of Akina Gordon Opio to be in the same forum? How do you expect Winnie will be feeling? And people have been taking jabs at her. in the NDC, because you know Winnie is an ODM member. I heard somebody saying that Winnie is not an ODM member. My brother, Winnie is an ODM member, and she's an MP in Yala. So I don't understand why somebody saying Winnie is not an ODM member. I don't understand. I don't get it. So what really will happen is there will be the same kind of rhetoric that was in Mombasa will be even more, and it will be dangerous, because I think that time, you know, I heard Joho akisema kama mnataka tuharibu tutaharibu, kama ni mbaya ni mbaya. So it is decided that some people now are ready, whether it goes haywire or it goes what. I saw somebody writing that we are going to have two ODMs. One will be called ODM original, and the other one ODM Masili, and the other one will be called ODM. So if they are not very careful, you know, there is a question you really asked me, and I wanted to answer that question from the beginning. You asked me, there's a question and a statement you put out about Raila Odinga, and if he was there, would those things happen? Let me say, the last speech I had Raila talking, because there was the last speech that Raila talked. There is one thing he said that keep on ringing on my mind, and he truly spoke his mind and said about people should not go to a discussion without knowing how they are going to enter that discussion. He was truly talking about how people want to rush to say broad-based and everything. But he told them, nyinyi hata hamjui nini tulikuwa tunaongea na Ruto. Why do you want to rush to a discussion you don't know? So he was trying to tell them, this discussion, by the way, he was trying to tell them a very good thing. That is one of the things I love with the Right Honorable Prime Minister, late Honorable Prime Minister. He could tell you face to face. Angekwambia kama bila uoga, angekwambia hii mambo mnajaribu kusema nyinyi hata wenyewe hamjui tulikuwa tumeongea mambo gani. You know, Joho and Ruto did not meet. Joho and Wadai did not meet. Ruto and Wandai did not meet. Mbadi and Ruto did not meet. Who met with Ruto? It was Raila who met with Ruto. And they decided we are going to have a joint coalition so that we can be able to work and be able to stabilize the country. Was it these people who are singing now, Akinawanga, that we are going to have a broad-based government? They know nothing about. They don't know what Ruto and Raila they talked about in that meeting. They don't know which people are there, because I don't believe that Ruto and Raila went for a meeting without having some people in that forum talking. Do you think that they only talked two people there? They do nothing. And I'm telling you, brother Benson, the truth is always coming out, and it's very soon we are going to hear what and the explosive things that happened. But for the NDC, I'm clearly telling you, it will be the same things that you saw in Mombasa. Now it will be even worse, because now that everybody is going to be full throttle. Kila mtu atakuwa full throttle. Anataka sasa kuoneshana ubabe wake.
Can this one, because like always when we are faced with issues like what we have now, especially when it comes to our political party, because this is the first time that a larger and a bigger political party with a stronger base, especially the leader is gone, has exit and has died, and with the large following. And like it's the first time that we are realizing, or first time as a country or as an ODM, they are going through such like experience. Miguda, what lesson especially can the members of ODM and other political parties, including Wiper, all these political parties, learn for what is happening, and how can they come up with solutions such that it reaches a point whereby you have a party structure that is working? And I gave you, for example, the Chama cha Mapinduzi. It doesn't matter who is the leader or who is coming, that the party will continue without the confrontation that we saw. What can they learn, and what are the corrections or measures they should take?
Personally, I want to say that ODM so far have tried, because you understand, surviving for the 20 years. Remember, people have left ODM, including Ruto, Mudavadi. Many people have left
from the time here today after a long time.
From the time it was the time of conception. Maybe,
Even
but it
Brother
has been,
Benson.
but but it has been there. So what I want to understand is that we as Kenyan people, first, we are a multi-party democracy. That's the difference we have. So sometimes you can use other countries, but Kenya, we are a country whereby we are fond of many political parties. What our political parties need to do is to ensure that they have structures that even if a person ditch your party, because like I've told you, ODM people have been ditching ODM to other political parties, but ODM has been always been there. So even if people get out of your party, even Ruto was the deputy party leader, Musalia Mudavadi left, ODM was still on. So even above the SG left, ODM was still on. So we should have a political party in this country whereby even if people walk out massively, the way Gachagua has walked out massively in UDA, going to DCP. So UDA should just remain there with these people. At the same time, DCP should also strong. So what we need to do as Kenyans, we need to have structures whereby it's not about individual party, it's about the people. And today, in the morning, if you saw that that daybreak whereby people like Caleb, Amis, and Eddie were speaking, I saw somebody in the comment section asking them that you have insisted that ODM is the people's political party. So does these other political parties belong to the animals? No. What we are saying, every political party, be it Wiper, DCP, that for Martha Karua PLP, that for JB Muturi, and even for Wetangula.
And you name even for Mark Obura. Why you don't name the party?
Hey, that was for DRA. DRA. And there's also another one coming. I'll show you that one via WhatsApp, Joseph. Before after this show, I'll show you that one. There's a new one we have just developed. So those political parties, even that for Marake Bas, those political parties should have structures whereby even if a party leader quit or anybody in the leadership structure, the so-called leadership structure, even if you leave or even if you leave as a member, but the party still remains with the structures that even the younger generation can view that, okay, if I want to contest and the ideologies of DCP align with my ideologies, let me join DCP. If I want to contest and my ideas are in concurrent with the Wiper, PLP, ODM, KANU, let me go to that political party. I think that's how we should have it, brother. Whereby it is a flowing structure. It doesn't. We don't need to put it an individual asset. That's why we have a problem right now, because from the look of things, ODM was formed in a structure that it is a people's party. But we find out that there are people who want to bring conspiracy that it was a Raila Odinga thing. No, it was never a Raila Odinga thing. That's why when he's referring them, NDC, go back to the people, go to the street. It was sweat and blood. It was never two people meeting somewhere in bedroom. It was never two people meeting somewhere in boardroom. It was about pillow talks. It was about the people. So all the political parties in this country, we should ensure that for us not to have these challenges we are experiencing right now with the ODM party. And also, bro, we have a problem in this country. There are things which are clear, like this issue for ODM. People, you know what is right, but you want to divert the reality. We have a problem in this country whereby, this is the reality, and you also know that it's about people, but you want to bring it like it was never the people, it was never NDC, it was Raila. No, it was not Raila. It was the people. Raila was a political party leader. So people have this issue whereby they usually want to divert everything, even when there is a reality which has dawned on to us that Raila is no more. What should we do? Because this is the pro-people party. As a
all right, Miguda. So, okay, let's wait for Miguda. As we are waiting for Miguda, Joseph, Miguda has raised some issues. I know that we are almost closing, but Miguda has raised some issues about the people. And if you look at all these political parties, they always say that it is for the people.
They are pro-people. They belong to people.
Yeah. So when we say that this belongs to the people, at what point, especially, do the people make those decisions? Because this party belongs to them. You are holding this party on behalf of the people. Where have we seen, especially even when the negotiations of these political parties are going on, you see the inputs of the people that they say they belong to making those decisions. That is one. Then secondly, and I want you to answer those two questions, and I know by the time Miguda will be coming in, our time will be over. We saw Cherargei yesterday, I think, when he was talking about the positions, and he said that other party will go the only thing they can go there for the village elders, and that one is referring because like ODM, when they talk, they will have to look at what are the positions that are being given. And Cherargei say that there are two positions that is not negotiated, that is the deputy president and the president, so they can au wengine wanaweza enda hata kwa village huko wapate hizo position. And this is coming at a time when ODM he's not speaking in one voice. What does it one say as we say hi to Shima Hussein?
Just one thing, I need that question to be asked to Laban Misiani. If you're not being given a deputy, what kind of a deal is that? I think that is a raw deal. You cannot be having a raw deal, then you're saying that you're in broad-based. If they cannot trust you to, brother, the deal is not good. It is a bad deal, because how can you be having only 2 members of parliament from your area? But the area that is arguing with the government has how many ministers? How many CSS do they have in Mount Kenya? They have 7. You have 2. That is a raw deal. And you're the one who is fighting here saying you're in broad-based. What kind of arrangement is that? There's no arrangement which is there. The other two are coming from Western and one coming from the coast. So the deal already is raw for you. And then to put salt on injury, if a person wakes up from UD and tells you you're not going to get the deputy presidency, what kind of deal is that you're getting? And you're fighting for what? You know, one thing I like about Catholic fathers. I think that guy was a Catholic father, no?
Yeah,
the pastor was in Kisumu. Is a Catholic bishop or what?
I think he's a bishop.
Yeah, because one thing I like about these Catholic bishops or maybe ACK bishops, they don't tell you lies. They are going to tell you straight as it is. They are going to serve it to you, as it is. And truly, what he said was everything that you need to know about this arrangement that is there. The arrangement that was there was Baba trying to stabilize the government, but not about after 2027 they are going to be in broad based. Kama hakuna kitu mnapata kwa hiyo broad based, I don't understand. So he told you the whole truth, because I don't see a situation where Ruto is going to give ODM the deputy president. It cannot happen. It will not happen, because, and I know the person is going to give also will not bring him something to help him, because already Mount Kenya's votes have sailed. So that is what will happen. But I'm telling you, as from what Cherargei is saying, but maybe they are going to discuss in the future and say maybe they'll give ODM the deputyship.
Okay, all right.
That's a raw deal. You did sipo. Hata mimi sikataka deal kama hiyo sipo.
Okay, and maybe your last remark before Miguda comes in, something that I wanted to ask, but it skipped me and it just come to my mind right now. Remember when we had the founders, especially in the coast, where there were founder members of ODM, they were having that dinner. And there's somebody who has walked the journey with Raila Amolo Odinga, especially who could have also been that day celebrating that, was missing in action. That is Mama Ida. Mama Ida was missing, even though you might not say that she was not the founder, but she played a critical role in the life of the Right Honorable Prime Minister. Orengo too was missing in that dinner. Joseph, maybe in a few words, what can you conclude?
I think there is a scenario where I don't think Mama Ida wants to involve herself in this dirty things that are happening, which is dirty politics. You know, this is dirty politics. This is cheap politics. This is not healthy politics. This is just cheap politics. Because even at that time that Ruto came to address them, they were still yapping about broad-based government. and the president was there. So I think Mama Ida does not want to put herself in this, and I think she has also stayed away. And Orengo has a stand, brother. Orengo started the stand from a very long time. Ni vile tu alitulizwa na Raila. You remember Orengo alitulizwa na Raila the last time we knew, ndio watu wakasema Orengo amepotea, sijui is sick. You remember that time? Orengo alitulizwa na Raila, but Orengo had already sailed the boat. Alikuwa amesema hakuna kitu nasikiza ya broad base. That's why you see even right now he's hammering them so much. He's still hammering them. So I think Orengo could have not been there. Mama Ida does not want drama for now. She's still mourning. I think even she felt bad that the kid was abused. You know, wewe ukiwa mama ya mtoto alafu usikie mtoto ametusiwa in a public meeting, they are throwing jabs at her. Will you go for that evening dinner? They are saying you cannot go for that evening dinner. You not even feel comfortable in that evening dinner. And we should respect the family. It is still mourning, brother. Losing a dad and losing a husband is not easy. It's not an easy job, and it's not a joke. So the people of the likes of Akina Kaluma, the likes of Akina Alai, they need to know how they open their mouths to talk. There is no difference between them and Agashabu. Their mouth is very. They need to know how to hold their tongues. It is at least Gachagua waga na yake ni kupiga siasa, utamuona kwa hizo matusi. But Akina Kaluma, it's direct abusing people, brother. It's does not overwhelming me. So I think that is what all is in. But my final remarks is I'm still waiting to see the by-elections in Bere.
Okay, all right.
I know Kasipul, you are going to be following. But the one which amazed me today was Malava one. Did you see what Mudavadi said? So that amazed me because he said that ati wakipoteza hiyo by-election, Ruto atamvuta kazi, na akimvuta kazi watu wa Luhya Nation watasafa.
So unajua, that kind of like what some of these leaders say. What does it mean to you that you are getting those services because of him? You know, ama viongozi saa zingine sijui wanatuchukuliaga aje.
That's what is cooking, brother. They are saying that kutoka Western wanatoka mafutani, wanaitaga mafutani.
And that's what, like, I think like the other time the deputy president was saying that, okay, we have to support. Yes, it is the responsibility of the government to make sure that the people of that particular country are getting the services that they need, whether what political affiliation.
I think even the people who have suffered so much in this government are from the Luhya Nation. So far, the Luhya Nation is suffering so much in this government, and they have been told they are inside the wanaambiwa wa kitchen. Unajua tunakuja tunadanganywa tuko ndani, ni sisi tunatengeneza carrots, wale wengine wakikata nyanya. Sasa tunaleta pamoja tupike ile mchuzi, ati kuna mwingine ameleta nyama, so tunatengeneza mchuzi. But brother, wao ndio wanatengeneza mchuzi kule ndani, sisi tuko nje tunanukia tu ile nyama, lakini hata tuwezi ingia huko ndani. So I think people saw in the day when the Gen Z entered in parliament, hao wanakula minofu, saa zile sisi tunakula nini?
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Joseph Miguda. Maybe make it brief, then we will meet tomorrow. I don't know whether Marco Bura will find time to come with the second show, but it will be okay. Miguda, simu imekata. As we wait for Miguda, yes, I like what Brian Weke told today. Yes. Okay. I did watch.
Let me just be brief because I like I watched Brian Weke. I also watched Millie Mabona. They are speaking the same thing that what I was saying about the people. So I just want to say in brief that there are people who want to use people for their own self-interest. Like what Mudavadi told the people that it's about him. That just select this person for me not to lose my job. So what? If you lose my job, so what? So you understand. Those are the kinds of politics we don't want in this country. That two people are getting something from an individual, they want to compel the entire community, or they want to compel the entire people. to follow them in Swiss. So that is very wrong. You don't use, that's not how people should be used. And experts, they are just guarding their positions. They are not interested about Baba's death, or they're not interested about what people get. So they want to compel people that you come and support Ruto for us not to be to be fired. No, that is wrong. If you are competent, you will not be fired. If you are incompetent, you will go home. So I just want to appreciate our viewers for coming to the show. I want to appreciate our good friend Douglas Kibogong, Gitonga. I saw Gitonga, and also Goodia. And Brother Benson, kindly intervene to Goodia and explain. There are things we are not working out here. And, Salam Hussein also. And also, Brother Benson, thank you for hosting us. And see you tomorrow.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Miguda, for taking your time to join us, and also the comment section. Our good friends of internet for always supporting this channel. We really appreciate, and I believe Makubura will settle his time well, so he will be coming majority of the time so that we can have longer discussion. But also remember, on Sundays and Saturdays in the morning, we usually have what we call Meet the Press. Meet the Press is where we do the recap of all the news that happened during the week that were on the headlines. And something that we did not mention, Miguda, did you know that the government, the state, somebody hacked their website? Majority of website, the state that was
that one I saw. Yeah.
And how anyway, Makubura anajua IT angekuja hapa atuambie what usually happens. There's also this young man who alinyimwa kazi ya polisi kwa sababu alikuwa mfupi, akatoa amri kwamba wale wote wafupi katika hapo kwa polisi watolewe wote. Uliona hiyo video?
Yeah, that's Kenya for you. Na pia kuna mtu alitolewa juu alisema ati akuosha mdomo yake. Akamwona mdomo yake ulikuwa chafu.
Okay, sawa. Unajua Miguda, kuna kitu ambapo mimi huwa nasema. Mimi nasema katika yes, uliona hiyo. Mimi naangalia tuko na nchi nzuri sana. Nchi yetu mimi najivunia, ingawaje saa zingine tuko na changamoto ambayo tunapata kama nchi, lakini mimi huwa najivunia kuwa Mkenya, kwa sababu Kenya ni nchi ya pekee ambao Mungu alibariki kivyake. Unajua kwa nini? Kuna huyu jamaa wa Ena Coach, huyu driver, najua muda imeisha, lakini kuna huyu jamaa wa Ena Coach ambaye alikuja kwa mtandao akasema kwamba alikuwa na ajali na mkono yake, unajua ikawa venye alipata ajali mkono yake ikakatwa, na labda amekuwa akitembea sana akienda pale Ena Coach kupata malipo ama fidia, lakini ikawa ni ngumu, akakuja kwa internet. Sinakwambia Wakenya walichomoka. The next thing you know, si watu waenda Coach wakatoa barua. So nakwambia ikifika kitu ambacho inaguza Mkenya na waone wameamukia, mimi nakwambia hautakuwa na amani mpaka itabidi ufanye jambo ambayo ni mzuri, na hiyo ndio Kenya ambayo mimi naoizungumzia. So nchi kama hiyo huwezi sema kwamba unataka kusema kwamba nchi yako ni mbaya, tutavumilia. Pia Kenya pia ni nchi ambayo katika mtandao, yani Mungu amewajalia Wakenya sana na ucheshi, na kuna wale ambao Mungu wamewapatia kipaji ambapo jambo kinatokea, lakini wataiweka kwa njia ambayo yani itakuchekesha, na sijui wanafikiria aje. Unajua, mimi saa zingine nakaa hivi nafikiria, naona jamaa, mtu ametoa jambo, nasema ni mtu, mimi naye mbona Mungu asinibariki nitoe jambo ambayo labda unaisoma unakuja unapata unajicheka, unacheka peke yako, unaona. Yeah, so nakwambia ni nchi, Kenya is a very good country. Ni ile tu tukipata tu uongozi mzuri alafu tuchanganye na hii yenye tuko nayo, tuko vizuri bana, hakuna unaona. Let me see what somebody says. Yeah, we should not put up with bad governance. Yes, I agree with you. So I think like what is failing us is about governance, and the governance that is failing us is not only in the government or administration. It is in our institutions, including our political parties. You know, if we can have political parties that are independent and the political parties that are guided by the rule of law, then we can have a good country. Because remember, look at how sometimes our nominations do happen in this political party. Sometimes they're very chaotic, and the chaotic. If you cannot manage your nomination, when you come to the general election, also it's so chaotic. Then what do you expect? You know, so everything is chaotic from the process and where we're going. So if we can have political parties that are independent, that are not owned by individual, you know, that have structures that even if somebody leaves, the party will still continue, you know, then that one we will be okay. Ametutesa mpaka tukajua haki zetu. Okay, thank you so much everyone for taking your time to be with us, and Miguda also, thank you so much for being with us. Joseph and Makobura too. Tomorrow we'll be here. I'm trying to organize with the with one panelist that we did. He usually does the Kisumu coverage so that we can also get his views on what is on the ground, on everything that happened. Otherwise, thank you so much. May God bless you.